viewers, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Prime Changer's Sentinel Prime from the Transformers 1 line from Hasbro. So I'm really kind of surprised that this guy made it into Wave 1. Wave 1 being Optimus and Alpha Trion and Sentinel Prime and Bumblebee. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee make total sense to me as they're two of the stars of the film. But I guess maybe they're saving Elita 1 and Megatron for Wave 2. Save some of the heavy hitters for Wave 2. But yeah, so we have Sentinel Prime here. He has this nice jet alt mode as depicted here on the front of the box. I have no idea what role he'll play in the movie. Pretty much so far, I've only seen him in like one frame of the trailer where he's being held up or captured by what looks to be a Quintesson or something like that. So again, really have no idea how important this guy is going to be in the movie. I know some people have seen it already. Obviously, I have not. Kind of excited as the hype is building. I'm getting excited to see this movie. So about a month or so left to wait. So we'll see. But yeah, we have the standard open style packaging here, so you can reach right in and touch the figure. Over here, we have some artwork of the close-up of his robot mode, and again with his vehicle mode. Over here on this side, you have the kind of group shot of the four main characters. Not really too much going on the bottom. And again, you have another group shot of the four of them up here on top. And then over here on the back, we have a nice product shot of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Here is Sentinel Prime out of the packaging. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with this guy. All of these $20 Transformer 1 Prime Changers have been pretty solid so far. I'm very excited to get B and complete the first wave. But yeah, I like this guy. Color scheme's great. I think the head sculpt works well. Get a little bit closer in there. Little basic, but I like it. He's got the nice blue eyes. He's got the silver for the face. A little bit of gold for accent color. I think that looks pretty good. Head is on a ball joint. Can look side to side. Get a little bit of up and down. Not a ton. Can't really rock side to side. You have some nice gold accent trim here on the chest. And a little bit more down here in the lower abdomen. He's got these wing pieces here on the back, and they do get in the way a little bit, but the nice thing about them is you can really move them around, so you can see that there's a hinge here. You can bring these back. There's also a hinge right here. You can kind of see this mushroom peg type pin, and so you can move these out. So you can kind of do whatever you want with these, like if you want to put these straight out and put these up, or if you want to kind of like have them at an angle, you can have them at kind of like a 45, or if you want to keep them down but put them at a 45, you can do that. If you really want, you could fold the wing pieces out if you like that look a little bit better. So you do have some options. You know, you could give them kind of full-on Seeker wings if you want something like that. It's up to you, but they are made to fold in like that. So you have some options, which is nice. What I tend to do is kind of just keep these a little bit further back just because they get in the way of the arm articulation a little bit. Now this panel here on the back tends to want to unpeg. It doesn't really need to be pegged in to kind of stay in place, even if it kind of pops out a little bit and you just kind of keep it there. It's not really getting in the way. It's not going to fall down. It's on a really nice solid double hinge there. So that's nice. Even if this does kind of unpop from those pegs and it just kind of hangs there, it's not really an issue. Still where it's supposed to be. So you do have a hinge here in the shoulder, which is mostly for transformation, but if for some reason you want to utilize it for the robot mode, you absolutely can. Very tight on mine, though. Both of these are very tight. Otherwise, you have a swivel here for the shoulder, and then you can see the pin actually right there so that this can move out to the side. You have a swivel right above the elbow joint. Then you have 90 degrees, as I flip that part out intentionally. You do have a swivel there. And then again, you have the 90-degree bend for the elbow. This is kind of a kibble piece for the very tip of the nose cone of the plane, and it just kind of rests there on the back of the forearm. Not really a big deal. Sometimes you might move it around by accident, but it doesn't dangle or anything. It really kind of stays in place pretty nicely, which I appreciate. No wrist swivel. The forearm and hand and everything is one solid piece. You do have a waist swivel. Now, again, to utilize this, you might want to move the wings back out of the way. But then you get a really nice waist swivel there. You can also get these out of the way so that you can get the full utilization of the hips. You can kick really far back, really far forward, pretty far out to the side. I'd say probably 45 degrees. Then it kind of stops. You have a thigh swivel there. You have knees. Nice 90-degree bend there. And then you do have a little bit of ankle tilt. Not a ton, but you do have pretty much as you'd need. So just a little bit there, but it works. You have a little bit of black here. Now, I think this is an inlaid piece of plastic. I could be wrong about that. It might be paint. I don't know, up here it kind of looks like plastic, but down here it kind of looks like paint. I might be completely wrong and it is just paint, but either way, looks really sharp. Gold down here is nice. The only thing I would say, he does have pretty hollow legs back here, but they do mitigate it decently by having this piece kind of cover it up. So if I move this, you can see that the legs are completely hollow, and that's because this big foot is going to rotate in there for the transformation. But they do have these pieces cover it up a little bit, and I feel like because these are black, it kind of casts enough shadow that the hollowness of the leg doesn't 100% immediately stand out. So they did a decent job of mitigating that. Obviously, a full-size panel would have been nice, but I'm not really too upset about it. I think the articulation's good. I think the color scheme's good. I think the paint applications are pretty solid. And, yeah, pretty happy with this guy. But we're not even done because he comes with a ton of accessories. So he has this little shield piece, which has some nice pink paint here. Even has trim on the back, which I think is a nice touch. And you can go ahead and peg this into, he has a hole here on the forearm. So you can equip him with a shield there. You have these two little guns that, I'll be honest, look more like flathead screwdrivers than guns. But you have these little two-pod missiles or just laser guns, whatever you want to call them. He can hold these in his hand, like so. You do get two of those. Now, the other thing you can do if you would rather, they are going to peg here for the vehicle mode. So if you would rather just leave them on the wings all the time, you can absolutely do that. Or you could even kind of have these like come up a little bit. It won't come up much further than that, but you could actually fire from there if you wanted. Probably won't need to though, because he also has these two guns, which are meant to just peg in here on these giant pegs on the shoulder. So this guy comes fully outfitted with weaponry. So he's got these two shoulder cannons, he's got two of these which can be held in each hand, and he's got the shield. He is ready to throw down. So between all that artillery, just a really fun figure. I really like this quite a bit. I think he looks sharp. I love the accessories. And of course, we have to pose him in here with Alpha Trion and Optimus. So these are the three that I have so far. Still trying to track down B, but yeah, this is really, looking good. Nice sharp line here. I like these quite a bit. $20 a piece, I think, is pretty fair. I mean, they're cheaper than usual deluxes, but they still have a nice deluxe feel to them. I'm pretty happy. Got a nice group shot thing going here. But let's go ahead. We'll get into his transformation. All right, so I've gone ahead and removed all of his accessories except these two little pieces. As I mentioned, they do clip onto the wings. The instructions tell you to do that right away, and it is because later on it's going to get to a point where it'll be harder to add them on. You can wait if you want, and I'll point out later where you have to put them on before the last step, but I'm just going to go ahead and attach them now like this. We are going to start by taking these pieces from the forearms, and you can see how they have a little circular, kind of a short tab there. That's going to peg into the bottom of the hands. And you want to kind of keep going, because at first when I did this, I thought, oh, that's not really that great. But you will hear kind of a click. And then you can see that it's much more secure. So you want to make sure you keep going until you hear that click. And then there you go. So next you're going to take this and rotate this around. You can kind of see how there's like a line here. And you want to rotate this around until this is all kind of flush. And you can see that that line continues on into the blue area where they then added the silver paint for the cockpit. So do that again over here and just make sure that all sits flush. Then we are going to take the arms and put them all the way out to the side and then rotate them 180 degrees like this. Then you're going to take this whole section and, like I mentioned on that double hinge that all the way back. The head is going to rotate into this cavity back here, but the neat thing about this is it's not just the head. You actually have to grab this entire gray chest plate section. So you want to pop this down here, and then this whole thing is going to rotate up, and then the head will rest in there. And then you can take the arms and bring them up the rest of the way, and that little panel that was part of the head kind of nicely fills in that gap. Then you can start to sandwich this all together, like so. And then we have our whole front of the jet here. Really nice silver paint there. Make sure that's all together, and you can check underneath too. There are two little pieces here that have to kind of sandwich together. But yeah, I think that works really well. I really like the simple having this chest piece up here kind of fill that gap. It works really well. Then you're going to drop this back down, and you can see that there are two tabs right there, and they are going to tab in right there. And there's another one on the other side right there. So just bring this back down, and this will snugly tab into those two places. There we go. Then we're going to spread the legs apart a little bit so that we can flip these pieces out. That if you have any of the ankle tilt engaged, make sure you straighten this out, and then this will just fold straight in like that. So straighten this out. And make sure, because there is like a lot of overhang, make sure you're not trying to grab this part of it. It's just the foot. Then you're going to spin these on the thigh swivel towards each other. And then, as you can probably guess, these are going to bend at the knee and then come around. And then there's a little spot right there, which is going to tab in right there. And also these two black pieces are going to tab in together. So it can get a little weird. You'll see what I mean. But just kind of line this up first and make sure that's tabbed in. There we go. And then this piece will kind of sit here. And then we're going to do the same over here. And then make sure this tabs in. And then these two pieces, very much like the front up here, will kind of sandwich into each other. Like that. And then just make sure everything lines up, and make sure these two feet pieces didn't come untabbed, because they do that. So make sure that's all there. So this would be the spot where you'd have to go ahead and put these on if you haven't already. You're going to flip out the wing pieces, and then you need to kind of bring these down, but make sure you don't hit these back tail fins. So make sure you're on this side of it. And then you can see that there's a couple spots right here that are going to tab into the wings. And then this kind of like cutout section here will rest inside there. So just bring this all down like that. And this one will snap in like that. And there we go. We have Sentinel Prime in his jet mode. I like this a lot. I think this looks really cool. The front of it is giving me like Beast Machine's Jetstorm vibes. I don't know why. Like, I could just imagine this head kind of turning from side to side. But I really like this. I think the jet design is really cool. Again, I love the color scheme. I like how those two guns just really nicely kind of peg in there and nestle in there, and that works really well. But you can still take the other guns and peg them here on the side, and you can see how they're kind of like they have a little bit of an angle to them. That's so that when you peg them on here, they're still facing straight. And I think that works really well, because this is kind of at an angle. So this has a little bit of an angle too. And they do have effect piece spots here. I don't have any on me. Do I? Here, this is going to be comically large, but it's not going to work. Let me get this piece out here. So there we go. They are effect piece compatible, which is really cool. I like that. Move this out of the way. And then you have the shield piece. Now the directions tell you to pop this on like this. I think because they want you to kind of fill this little space back here a little bit. I honestly wish that there was a way that this piece could kind of like connect or sit up in like this area, something like that. Or maybe even underneath, like peg in here, something like that. Or even peg in like this to kind of hide it a little bit. Or you can simply just turn it 180 and have it sit like that. I kind of like that a little bit better than having it face towards the back. I understand they want to fill in the gap, but I don't know. I just kind of like the look of that a little bit more. Or you can just leave it off altogether, whatever you prefer. But I really like this jet mode. I just think it looks really, really cool. Something about these colors just really work well together for me and really work for this jet mode. I like it a lot. I really like this figure a lot. I just think everything about this guy is a ton of fun. I love the design. I love the color scheme. I really like the vehicle mode. I think the transformation's fun. He comes loaded with accessories. I really don't have anything to complain about this guy. Honestly, if I had to really think about it and nitpick something, I feel like his expression is too friendly. I kind of wish he had more of a more menacing, angry, battle-ready expression. It's not a bad expression. It's a little bland. It's fine, but that, like I said, if I was really digging deep for something to criticize, that's the best I can come up with. Because I think this guy's a lot of fun. I think the price is fair. I'm really happy with everything, and I don't really have too much to complain about. This line has been pretty solid recently, honestly. I was really happy with Optimus. I thought Alpha Trion was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of bright, interesting colors so far, which is always fun. So don't sleep on the Prime Changers $20 Transformers 1 line. It's been great. I just hope Bumblebee's as good as all the rest, and whatever they decide to do with Wave 2, I've been really happy with these. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.